So everybody's still kind of reeling over the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show, and I never really paid attention to how much people care about halftime, but I'm starting to see it. Going out today, it was like you were either Team Turning Point USA or you were Team Bad Bunny, and it was like you had to pick a side, and fortunately for me, um, I kind of watched a little bit of both and lost interest very quickly with both. Now, I'm kind of lucky because generally I don't care about stuff like this. So, most people, regardless of how I react to it, they really don't care what my opinion is because they know I'm not really invested. But I have to say this, nobody was really thinking about the fact that Jay Z is in charge of this stuff.
Would you kneel or would you stand?
Um, okay. I think we've passed kneeling. Yeah, I think it's time to go into actionable items. I think everyone knows what the issue is, and we're done with that.
Well, when I was younger, I didn't really care for Jay Z like that. And unfortunately, a lot of how I felt about him was based off of how people around me were thinking. He's a rapper, and in the rap world, it's all about who's the toughest, who's the realest, who's the this and the that. And I've never seen Jay Z as like a tough gangster type guy. And so just being persuaded by people around me, it was like, oh, I don't like him because if Pac and Biggie were here, we wouldn't even know his name. But just like how he talked about, people are still talking about kneeling, I'm starting to see how I was that way. And even with the whole Bad Bunny thing, like everybody's gonna be captured in this time where they're like, oh, Bad Bunny is not American and all this other stuff. And I just want to put that to rest because somebody in my comments on my last video actually educated me and told me Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico. Now, I kind of felt bad immediately because when I listened to a lot of people, much like the folks that were around me when I was growing up, they were leaning heavily on Bad Bunny as if he was some kind of foreigner. Now, he is Latino, but he's still like American. I mean, I don't know. Are Puerto Ricans Latinos? I don't mean to be ignorant. Well, anyway, I have to say, I am a little biased because the minute I learned that Bad Bunny was American, I was just like, oh, I can't believe I missed an all American halftime performance. And my attitude is like, as long as it's American, it's fine. No, I don't agree with his ideologies. I don't agree with the way that he think about ICE and all that. But I think that's the beauty of what it means to be an American. So this is kind of me, holding myself accountable for being like, oh, this is some kind of, foreigner. Because he's not. He's an American. And he's entitled to his beliefs.
Everyone knows what you know what the issue is? You know why we were kneeling? Okay. Do you know the issue? Yeah. Do you know the issue? Yes? We all know the issue now. Okay, next. Where we moving on next? And I'm not, again, so to be clear for the room, I'm not minimizing that part of it because that has to happen. That's a necessary part of the process. But now we all know what's going on. What are we going to do? How are we going to stop? Because the kneeling was not about a job. It was about injustice. Let me bring attention to injustice. Everyone's saying, how are you going forward? And Cap doesn't have a job. This wasn't about him having a job.
Now, just like Jay-Z is telling these people to get over Colin Kaepernick no longer having a job in the NFL, I'm going to need people to move on from the fact that I thought that Bad Bunny was not an American. Yeah, I'm trying to make this parallel work because this is what I think. The older I get, the more I appreciate Jay-Z because what a brilliant mind to put Bad Bunny up there, especially during a time where this country is so polarized when it comes to immigration. I feel like it was one of those ways of making Americans talk to each other. And I think that's a powerful way that Jay-Z uses his art. And, a part of me kind of wish I would have appreciated him sooner. I remember him talking about how, with his talent, he wanted to be able to push more positivity or be more transformative with his work, but he's realizing that the audience that he started out with is still thinking the way that they thought when he first started entertaining them. And he's evolved so many different ways. So I'm just saying this. I have a new perspective on the Bad Bunny thing. And I'm grateful that I have that perspective because I got it from Jay-Z. And you already know how I am. Anything that a FBA does, I'm biased, right? When I see the Bad Bunny halftime show, I know that Jay-Z was the reason for it. I can hear it differently. First of all, Bad Bunny is an American, so he can do no wrong. I wouldn't say he can do no wrong. That's a little far. But I am very biased when it comes to Americans. I am pro-America. Second of all, Jay-Z, who is a foundational Black American, is in charge of that process. So I'm biased twice. But let's say even if Jay-Z wasn't over it, the fact that Bad Bunny is an American, he's all right with me. I might even start listening to his music. I might even start trying to learn Spanish because I need to think about Puerto Rico more. I just thought the territories were like the leftovers if you're not one of the 50 states. But I learned that they're full-blown Americans too. So welcome to the club, Bad Bunny. I just have to say I'm grateful for Jay-Z putting that show on. And Turning Point should be ashamed. Turning Point should be ashamed, not only because of this whole Charlie mess, but also for trying to distract Americans from appreciating the genius of Jay-Z.